Hello folks, and welcome back to another show. Today I want to tell you all about how to clean your vinyl. There's a million cleaning videos out there from other folks in the vinyl community. They're a dime a dozen. Everybody does a cleaning video, so I figured in season 2 of Manza Media, why not do a cleaning video and show you guys how to properly, or how I properly clean all of the vinyl that I own, and how I've kind of just taught myself a good method to getting this thing down and how to get this medium sounding tip top the best that I can. You don't ever want to be playing dirty vinyl. I'll tell you that first off. You never want to just pick up a vinyl record from a dime store, secondhand store, somebody's yard sale, and pop that on your turntable, boom, spin it, boom, done. No, don't do that. Don't ever do that, because you have to clean this medium. It's a flawed medium. You need to clean it like you would dishes before you eat your meal. So that's kind of how it goes. That's kind of the basic logic. If you're going to have a great meal for dinner, you're not going to have it on dirty dishes. You're going to clean the dishes first and then have your meal on the dishes. So it's the same thing with vinyl. You have to play vinyl clean, or else you're going to hear and it's going to affect your audio listening experience. And you're going to end up thinking to yourself, why did I like vinyl? Because it sounds like crap. It doesn't if you clean it. I will tell you that. You have to clean the medium. First step, what you're going to do is take your vinyl out of the sleeve, out of the dirty sleeve in which you found it. If it's a dirty faded yellow sleeve, get rid of it immediately. So what you do is throw that right in the trash, and then get that vinyl record onto some sort of nice sheet, like a microfiber towel, or a t-shirt or something, or a dish towel, just to put it onto a surface. Lay it flat on top. Next to your sink. For all the cleaning of my records, I use a paint edger, something you would use to paint with, and I find that the bristles of the paint edger get right into the vinyl grooves, and it tracks along the record, so you can follow it along back and forth and scrub it really good. Get it all in the grooves, back and forth a few times, little steps, big strokes around. So you want to go back and forth a million times with that paint edger with your cleaning method of choice. I personally use Dawn dish detergent, as that has a little bit of surfactants in it. It only uses a fraction of the alcohol that you'll find with other cleaners, as you don't want to be using a ton of alcohol. You want to be using a small amount of alcohol, if any at all, as alcohol dries out the medium over time. But with frequent play, these records should not dry out and ruin your listening experience by any means. I love Dawn dish soap. It really ends up working. So what I do is I just add a little bit of Dawn dish detergent to one side of the vinyl, just all the way across the grooves, and then I use my paint edger with a little bit of warm water all the way around the vinyl itself, and you want to go back and forth and scrub it up and make those bubbles form. A good way to tell if your vinyl grooves are clogged, think of the pores on your face. If they're clogged, stuff will just rub onto it and nothing will sink in. It's clogged. And unfortunately, if the vinyl is clogged, or if the grooves are too small for the soap to get into the grooves, if it's a micro grooved record, you won't notice any shimmer and sheen when you go to wash it off. You won't see the beading and sheeting of the water. You're just going to see it just sitting there stagnant. You're going to see it pooling on top of the record, and that will either tell you one of the two things. Either the record is clean, it's just got micro grooves where it won't sink into the grooves. The grooves are not wide enough for the water to get into, or you've got a dirty record that is you can't bring it back. Once it's full of that kind of microscopic fibers and dust and things, you can't always bring it back, especially if it's got a lot of scratches. It's going to end up pooling. You want to move the soap around in a good way, lather it up nice, and also lather up the edges, as that's where people hold the most fingerprints and skin oil is on the edges, as people don't always know how to handle vinyl. You put your thumb on the label and the edge of your fingers on that edge of the record. So that's how you hold a vinyl record. So for the future, that's how you hold a vinyl record while you're cleaning it. But for the most part, it should just be laid out on a flat towel or microfiber towel or soft, t-shirt or something, dishcloth, something, just to have it on a nice soft surface. Nothing will be affected by putting it down like that. So after you're done going back and forth a few times, you want to then prop it back up and get it into the sink. If your sink has a shower setting, you want to just put it on that shower setting. Mine for instance has a hose that pulls out, and I just use that shower setting all the way around the grooves, rotating the record all the way through the grooves. Slowly get that shower setting all through the grooves to wash them out, clean them out like pores. In my case, I don't mind getting the labels wet whatsoever, as I find it does nothing to bother them. Just water and soap is not going to bother your record labels. It's going to dry, and it's going to look just as good as it always did, and it doesn't affect quality, it doesn't affect anything. As the grooves are now clean, you'll see that the water is beading and sheeting off of the grooves, and it's easy, it dries right away. It almost just evaporates. The water just goes away all around the grooves, and that's a good thing. That means your vinyl record is clean. Run it under the tap once and then flip it over, run it over the tap again, the straight tap this time, not the shower setting. Then you flip it over and shake it off, get that excess water all out of the grooves. And then what I do is I take a nice t-shirt cloth and something with a low pile. You don't want a high pile cloth on this for reference. You don't want to use like a big towel, or you don't want to use like a big fluffy t-shirt or anything fluffy, or any microfiber, because those will get right back into the grooves. It will attract dust, and it will attract the static back into the record by using a microfiber, in my opinion, because I don't typically wash them correctly. I don't wash the microfibers the way they should, so I don't use a microfiber towel to dry them. But you need to dry them. You cannot sit them and have them just air dry. You can't just sit them and have them, they're all air dry. Fine. No, they will not air dry correctly, unfortunately. So you'll get streaks. You'll see the streaks of the water and everything. You'll see that when it dries by air. So I take either a paper towel or something that's of low pile, like an old shirt or something, and go all the way around, not getting my fingers onto the label or the vinyl itself, nice and gently, nice and easily. And then I just lay flat while I clean the covers. I lay it flat at an angle somewhere against a wall or against something that's not affecting the grooves. I lay it flat to dry somewhere in my kitchen, so that it's just waiting for the other packaging, like the cover and the sleeves, before I put it back in. It's just the labels airing out and drying and getting back to its original state. So how I clean my covers is I take my covers, put them flat down on a surface, take a magic eraser, great things, and move them around with water. A little bit of water, not soaked, just damp. Move it around everywhere, the side of the label, the spine, the tops, the inside. If it's a gatefold, clean the gatefolds, all with the magic eraser. If I don't have a magic eraser at the time, I use an all-purpose cleaner or something like that. Sometimes I use Clorox bleach spray. That gets all of your grime, grit, mold, anything that's going to be of a hindrance in the looks of the packaging. I take care of that right away with one of the three cleaners that I mentioned: an all-purpose cleaner, Clorox bleach spray, or a magic eraser. One of those three will take care of your covers. So what you never want to do is just put back the record with the no inner sleeve. You never want to do that. Nothing in here, nothing at all. Because why? Because the cardboard inside the packaging, inside your cover, is going to rub up against those grooves, affect it, and scratch it minorly, believe it or not. So what you want to do is always get a clear inner sleeve, a MoFi sleeves, whatever sleeves that you like for the interior. You could get them on Amazon for at least $20. I get the plain white paper sleeves, as I find those they eliminate static and they're fine. They're new. I always keep them new and refreshed so they're not like old paper rubbing up against the vinyl grooves. You don't want that. And if you have an original inner sleeve that you want preserved, keep it separate from the new sleeve some way. They sell all sorts of different sleeves and separators. I could do another video on that. Sure, I can tell you how to properly sleeve up your record however you'd like. It's a personal choice. I find that there's all different sorts of methods, and people in the vinyl community are very particular about what they put their records in, the sleeve quality, what it is, if it's non-static. What kind of paper the sleeve is can vary. They've got wax paper sleeves, they've got all sorts of different kinds of inner sleeves. And then I use a protective outer sleeve as well, which is just a simple protective outer sleeve that I also got on Amazon. It just has that flap at the top. Pop the vinyl into an inner sleeve and make sure that's protected, and then make sure it's preserved from any elements and any little things. One other little tip that I do is when I'm all set. See, this is an example of the paper inner sleeves that I use for my records, and a little tip I will show you is after you're done cleaning the front and back, I go ahead and put my hand inside the record jacket and go like this a few times. What that does is it just gets rid of all debris, dust, rocks, anything, little dust, any particles that were found that could have made themselves a home inside the record jacket. So you want to get rid of those so that the record is basically brought back to the way it was when it was manufactured. So that's the goal. That is my simple vinyl cleaning method. I hope it found a good place in your brain and it made everything a little bit simpler as to how to clean these things and what not to do. It's a very fragile medium, but if you're careful and you don't have any sharp items or don't drop the vinyl, you're in good shape pretty much. You just don't want to drop it or use your nails to get on the grooves or anything like that. You don't want any contact between you and those grooves other than water and soap. Now, my vinyl cleaning video is in the ether with all the other vinyl cleaning videos that you can find helpful or of use. And that's going to do it for this video. Look out for more holiday oriented vinyl videos, but I figured why do that first when I could tell you how to clean these first? I will catch you in the next episode, folks. You can find me lounging to a melody. Take care.
Thanks again, folks, for checking out this episode. If you do feel so inclined as to follow me on social media, you may gladly do so at Manza Media Art and Manza Media on every other platform. If you like prints, I've got an Etsy shop where you can pick up some of my original artwork and fan artwork. I'll catch you folks on the next episode of Manza Media.